Alright, so probabilities are things that we use in everyday life and things that have to do with entertainment and collisions and weather and all kinds of other things. I'm sure you have seen them, okay? But why is it important to nursing? Okay, what does it have to do in general with life? Okay, yes, it comes up in some secondary things probably, but why is it important? Well, we use probability to quantify random variability. Okay? And remember that random variability is a key aspect of statistics. Remember that some numbers, some data are to be analyzed statistically when they are subject to random variability. Okay? And of course, random variability does occur in all aspects of the nursing profession. We're going to see a lot of examples in class, and hopefully I will ask you to come up with your own examples of where random variability occurs and where it is important to quantify this random variability. And when we do that, we do it through probability. In fact, we use probability when we're dealing with future events. Now, having said that, you may have seen some applications of probabilities that were attached to past events, but that's a different story. And it's a story where actually past events are we're pretending that were really future events. But in reality, what we're doing is we're looking at future events. And we're looking at events that are individually unpredictable. We cannot tell what the next event is going to be. So we cannot tell exactly what is going to happen. But at the same time, we know that those events will follow a certain pattern which is going to be predictable, which is going to be which we can study. And therefore, it is the pattern that we're after, not the individual events. So whenever we're talking about a probability, we'll always be talking about something in the future, something about which we cannot really say anything for sure in terms of the individual event, but we'll be able to say something in terms of the overall pattern. All right, so having said that, what is a probability? When I'm talking about the probability, everybody has, their own definite favorite description or definition. Well, it's the chance and it's the likelihood. But if you think about it, it's all running around in circles, right? We're just changing names. We're not really saying what it is. So let me try and give you a little bit of a better, more consistent, stronger definition of what a probability is. What I'm going to give you is, let me tell, is not what mathematicians use, but is as relevant as it can be without getting into too much deep mathematics. Okay? So we're going to simply say that the probability of an event, that something will happen, is just a number. And it's a number between 0 and 1. And this is something quite important for us to understand. You may have heard of probabilities being reported as things other than number between 0 and 1. We're going to see that in a minute, or maybe in the next video. So it is a number between 0 and 1. So everything, and it is also a number that is meant to measure how likely that event is to occur. Remember, we're trying to measure this random variability. Okay, so we're working on a scale from 0 to 1, and I'm sure you will be with me when I tell you that 0 means that the event is impossible. And again, another little caveat here that for those of you who are mathematically minded, yes, I know that technically speaking there are events which are possible but of probability 0, but we're not going to go there. Okay, so let's for now, for all practical purposes, let's stick to the fact that 0 means that something is impossible, that an event is impossible, and 1 means that the event is certain. Okay, so 0, nothing, impossible. 1, fullness, certainty. Numbers close to 0 will represent an event that is unlikely, and of course numbers close to 1 will represent an event which is likely. And we're going to have to try and figure out where on that scale we are going to put this number. Now, as I said a minute ago, quite often we have heard probabilities reported as percentages. Okay, but once again, we like to report probabilities as percentages because most people are unfamiliar and uncomfortable with decimal numbers and with fractions. So we try to make life a little bit easier by reporting these probabilities as percentages. And in my experience, I know you're pretty good at converting between numbers between 0 and 1 and percentages, so we're going to leave it at that, and we're going to move on to more interesting concepts related to probability in the next video.